dung thieves in the first place. He put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. Hard times are when the textile workers around this country are out of work and got 4 or 5 kids and can't pay their wages, can't buy their food. Hard times.
You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
It doesn't matter what your name is. I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Woo! I tore them all down, and I came here for one reason: to attack and keep coming.
I did this for the rock.
You will rest in peace.
I asked you 1,000,000 times to join the NWO, or you would be born alive.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty.
Bang, bang. And what's it gonna do when Hulkamania run wild on you?
And that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
Yeah! Fire! I won't ride in nothing but limousines, and I won't make love to nothing but the best looking women in the world.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
You will know that your ass is mine.
Bang, bang.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. You got a championship belt? I don't.
That's right, I'm a Paul Heyman guy.
When Ric Flair's in town, showtime. Woo!
Sweet. My belly's just a little big, my honey's just a little big, but brother, I am bad and they know I'm bad.
Beat me if you can survive, if I let you.
Orderly!
Woo! It is Rolex time, Funky Raven.
You just made the list!
Who you beat, brother?
Can you dig that, sucker? I am the game!
The whole show.
If I can be serious for a minute.
You son of a bitch! Brock Lesnar! Damn!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
Oh, you didn't know? I mean, you're the Donald Trump of wrestling. You make Steven Spielberg look like a guy running 8mm films in a garage someplace.
Will you stop?
You don't want to recognize my belt, huh? You don't recognize my belt. I think you're a liar. I think you're a flat-out, straight-up, lying, crying bitch.
What is going on, everybody? How is it going? Not a bad song, Smart. Very super trampish.
Yeah, I dig it.
A little who sucked out the feeling type. I get that vibe with that. What is going on, everybody? It is Wednesday night. This is Dirt Sheet Dudes. I hope you are all doing well. Holy shit, do we have a fucking match that we can get into in a little while here. That goddamn fucking parking lot brawl was something fucking else, and we will get into it. I am Boxman once again. Thank you for joining us. Chat room, thanks everybody joining us, listening elsewhere on Mixlr. And there you go. And of course, across from me, I've got the Tease of Tennessee. It is Smark. How are you, sir?
That's right. I am doing well. I hope everybody else is doing good in the chat room. Like you said, listening elsewhere, wherever you are, whenever you are listening to this. I hope you are well.
Absolutely. Can't fucking deny it. Like I said, that was a fucking amazing match we had tonight. AEW, pretty good show tonight, actually, as a whole. And I got to tell you, I watched Raw, and I was actually happy with Raw, too. I think so far we've had a good wrestling week. Don't know what is happening on, what's that other show? NXT, right? But I guess we will do some finding out on that tomorrow night. I got that recorded, and I will definitely watch that. But let's go ahead and knock these plugs out real quickly. And let me see, what can we play? What can we do for that? Hey, let's do some With My Baby Tonight. What the hell? You guys all love country out there, right?
Boy, if ever there was a genre for our demographic.
Okay, I won't torture you guys. I won't do it to you. I'll find something. How about a little Eric Bischoff? No, it's not long enough. No, it's only a minute long. All right, let's do the game. Here we go. We got the game playing in the background. There we go, right there. All right, definitely want you guys to definitely check out the high marks over there. That is Cheese Man, that is Mojo, and that is G Wiz. You definitely want to check those guys out. One more time. They're on the Metal Mitt, M-I-T-T network. All one word, mixer.com/Metal Mitt Network. Check them out on Sunday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, I believe. I always forget the time.
Yep,
That's why you should just follow them on Mixler. They'll pop up on your feed and everything. Nothing to worry about at all there. And, of course, a shout-out to Bobby Anthem and Bobby Blades on the Inhuman Experience podcast. Definitely want to check out those guys right there. They're on Apple Podcasts, all the usual podcast platforms. And, of course, the Unscripted Wrestling Podcast. I will be joining them soon to defend my Jeopardy championship. You can check those guys out, Blog Talks. They're on Sundays, too. But I think they're on Fridays also, I believe, too. They have a couple of nights on that show. And, of course, Stephen Milan, Letterboxd, BOXD.com/Stephen Milan, double those L's when you spell Milan. You can check him out over there. We're reviewing films. And, of course, leave us a review. Subscribe, rate, follow us on Spreaker. You can get us on Twitter. You can find us on Stitcher, iHeart, Spotify, Google, TuneIn, Player FM, anywhere else. Good.
That's right. Well, everyone, it is time to put a glide in your stride, a dip in your hip, and meet me on the mothership, because it is time to visit our friends at the Planet Rack on Tour podcast. The Planet Rack on Tour podcast with, of course, Bobby Anthem, Papa Davidson's here, Yuck Nasty. You can find them wherever you listen to your podcast. They have full episodes. They have story excerpts. However you want to listen to them, you can, and I recommend that you do. So check them out.
There you go. All right. That's it. Plugs are done. Hell yeah, I got that done. Like I said, we've got a bunch of shit to get into. I kind of want to go ahead and jump right into that parking lot brawl, because I think that's going to be pretty much what everyone's talking about. That was, I don't know if you want to call it a match, but that was they killed each other. I am not the biggest Chucky T fan. I am not the biggest Trent fan, Trenty Locks, Trent Beretta, whatever his fucking name is. But credit where credit is due. Those son of a bitches went out there tonight and killed it with Santana and Ortiz looking like right out of the Dead Presidents movie. A little bit of a Warriors feel to it.
I swear to you, I was going to say that they were paying homage to their heroes, the Baseball Furies.
The Baseball Furies. I definitely got that feel, but I think it was JR who said the Dead Presidents thing, and I'm like, yeah, you could go with that one too. But when he picked up the lead pipe, I was like, all right, now we're going Baseball Furies. I like it. But, oh my God, man, they killed each other. They did some things in that match I don't know if I've ever seen. The smashing with the hood on Ortiz. I liked how Santana had the asp hidden in the tire wheel, the quarter panel there.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. And the ending with giving her the finger at the mom giving the finger at the end there. That was great.
Sue.
Good.
Sue Beretta.
Yes, that was Sue. And I just can't say enough about how great everything in this match was. Great. These guys laid shit in. They were killing. Trent going up against that windshield and then sitting up with glass all over his back. His back was bloody as hell after that.
Oh, yeah, he bumped his ass off in this match.
All of them.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and like you were saying, you said that you're not really the biggest Chuck Taylor fan. I like Chuck Taylor. I'm a fan of his. I've watched him for quite a few years. And it's not that he's not capable of having good matches, but just the kind of environment and the kind of stakes that they had on this one. I was curious to see how he would perform in like more of a just straight up serious like brawl type atmosphere.
Right.
Not usually his forte. Yeah, and I was just, like I said, I was curious at the very beginning of like, because it wasn't really like a kind of cinematic match necessarily, but it was kind of sort of a different setting, and those kind of things where you have just a different setting outside of the regular wrestling environment, those things can tend to get a little bit wacky sometimes. So I wasn't quite sure if we were going to get like a mostly comedic or semi-comedic type of match with the occasional big bump here and there, but no, it turned out it was actually just a full-on brawl from beginning to end. It was a lot of fun, really entertaining. You kind of listed some of the spots. I like the dives that they did onto the hood. Yeah, that they had, I can't remember if it was Santana or Ortiz, but they had him like wedged underneath the hood, and then they both did a dive onto it, and that looked pretty cool. So that was nice. There was that double like assisted powerbomb thing that Trent took onto the windshield. That was fucking sick. Like there is just, like you said, they bumped their asses off. It was incredible. It was a lot of fun. It seemed kind of like a extended version of just like a scene that you would see in an action movie, more so than even a wrestling match. But it was really entertaining.
Yeah, definitely an entertaining match. And like I said, these guys just killed each other the whole time. I swear, 4 minutes into this match, I believe I messaged Smark like, "Holy shit, this match is fucking awesome." And then it just kept. I swear, I mean, it got better and better as it went along. But what a hell of a way to end a show. And I got to tell you, they started off pretty hot, too. I'm going to, AEW definitely does right by not having the 20-minute promo every week. They've had it a few times, but it seems like they haven't had it in weeks. It looks like they've just been starting right with a fucking match, right to the action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's by design. I think that's how they're trying to separate themselves from an NXT or, especially like a Raw, that just every episode of Raw begins with the 20-minute promo.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. I mean, we did start off with, the Young Bucks attacking another official, and that's neither here nor there. But yeah, we started right off with the Jurassic Express versus FTR, and man, I got to tell you, FTR is just bland as fuck, dude.
I love the spike in expectation. You had set that up like, man, like there was a real revelation that was about to happen, and just, man, I got to tell you, FTR is fucking boring. Yep, absolutely, sure is, totally agree. But that was just a funny little juxtaposition in your delivery there. I got to give you credit.
Well, I wanted to build it up. I wanted to build it up a little bit.
I totally agree, unfortunately. And like they're good at wrestling. I mean, they're good performance-wise in the ring, but when they don't give you any reason to care if they win or lose, it's hard to kind of keep the energy up.
Oh, I really had no expectations of them winning. And like Antox is saying, they're just okay. They're not great. They're not good. They're not total shit. I totally agree with all that. They show, how do I say this, flashes of greatness for like a few seconds at a time. They do some good shit in the ring. But all in all, they're just got Sasha Baron Corbin, no pops, just bops. I like that. That's a good one. No pops, just pops. All right. But yeah, they go out there and they have a match.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That is, unfortunately. I mean, you can pretty much like set your watch to it. It's just cut and dry, copy and paste. It's the same thing, same formula pretty much every time. Like I said, they're not bad at it, but I have never once been like, oh man, I cannot fucking wait to see them wrestle.
And I think when your characters are, you just don't do things like, we don't do no flippy doos. We're from the country and we don't do no do dads, flippy dads. Yeah. Follow the rules and shit like that. It's just, what are their characters? Explain, besides just being a couple of country boys that people compare to Arn and Tully, which is the worst comparison in the world. I don't know. I just don't know. And I'm not trying to really just trash the guys, but the more I see of them week to week, it's just like, yeah, they're just getting more boring.
Yeah, and I thought they had something there for a minute because the end of the feud that they had with Paige and Omega, they were showing them being kind of manipulative and getting into Paige's ear and making him almost kind of making him turn on the Bugs. So it seemed like they might have found their niche in being like sort of, you know, this underhanded kind of snakish type characters. But even, you know, once that feud ended, so did pretty much their character arc.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you know, they went out there, they had a good match with, you know, Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, and, you know, the FTR cheated to win, which, if you're so great, I know you're heels, but maybe you shouldn't be doing that, because you're great, remember? I don't know. I'm not going to bitch about the cheat to win. I like when heels cheat to win. It's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. It is. But, I don't know.
A little curious that this week and then at the pay-per-view, both of the matches, last two matches, well, not the last two because they won last week, but the week before, you know, like I said, the pay-per-view and this week, Jurassic Express, they ended up losing their match once something happened to Luchasaurus where he was basically rendered inoperable for the rest of the match.
Yeah.
It just seems curious because it seems to me like they're obviously trying to push Jungle Boy into being a big star. But if you have it look like, I just kind of question the logic of them making it look like he needs Luchasaurus in there to win matches. I don't see how you can get him over as being a star that way.
Yeah, it's a good point. You're right, because it does make it a little tough on the guy. But I think they're going to do something with him either way. Dude, his name, number one, his father, number two, he's talented, which actually should be number one because he is very talented. You know, the character is going to have to evolve a little bit, as any Jungle Boy would, grow up a little bit. I mean, eventually he's going to have to be Jungle Dude or something. I don't know, but we'll work that one out. But, yeah, definitely harder to build a character when, you feel like he needs Luchasaurus, but that could also work up to he snaps eventually. And so, you know, I don't need you, and he'll go out there, he'll get beat the first few times, but, you know, he'll start to get it. That's probably the way it's going to go. I don't know, throwing shit out there.
That's a possibility. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely. Quick shot here. Why not? A little shot. Yesterday was my son's birthday. He turned 12, his last year before he's a teenager.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God, then he's going to start yelling at me and hating me and wanting a car. And oh, God. No wonder I drink. But no, we actually had a good night. Went to the little hibachi place, with the Japanese place they cook in front of you.
Yeah, why not?
The guy was a really cool guy. I got to tell you, he looked like fucking like Rosie. He was a big Samoan dude.
Nice.
He was a big Samoan guy, had the, giant beads on him and everything, but he was great. He was really good with the kids, and we had a really good time at it. So, shot for my son's birthday yesterday. How's that?
Cheers.
And, all right, on we go. So, Matt Hardy last week, Smark, he comes out, he gives this heartfelt promo. He's got his family out there. Touching, I'm taking a little time off, little healing break, and then suddenly he's on the ground laid out. Why was he there?
I didn't get that either, unless it was something that I missed. Like originally, the match was supposed to be a 6-man, I didn't think that was the case, so that was weird. But yeah, I don't get it either.
Well, he wrote himself off last week. There was no reason to write him off this week. I get it, Antox. They had to officially do it. But when someone goes out there and says, I'm leaving, I'm taking a break to get healthy, there's no reason to write you off again. I just found it redundant, repetitive, ridiculous. All three of those R's. I found it the 3 R's.
There you go.
I don't know.
I mean, and I don't disagree, but I mean, at least the benefit is that they didn't spend a super long time harping on it. It was just kind of a little bit of a throwaway scene before they went to commercial anyway.
I know. I know. It just, not shitting on him. I found it a little weird and redundant. I mean, it gave us a chance to get a little bit of Jericho mocking Private Party, but just a little, just oddly timed. I mean, I know he was probably still there because I think they taped 2 weeks in a row, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this episode was definitely taped.
All right, so you know what? He was probably still there. Maybe they taped it before or something. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I'm not going to. It's not the biggest deal in the world. Let me tell you what I thought was the biggest deal in the world. The next match, Frankie Kazarian, Hangman Page. The only thing I got out of this match is, holy fuck, Frankie Kazarian has fucking pyro.
That makes me laugh because there are certain characters where I see them get pyro and I just think to myself, really? Like, QT Marshall needs pyro. Okay, fine, hey, whatever.
Kazarian needs pyro. And by the way, he's one of the only guys that can like cut his hair and look like 30 years younger. I don't get it. Every time the guy cuts his hair, it's like, dude, he just got younger. What the fuck happened here? But
of course, ironically, he ended up getting fired from WWE basically because he refused to cut his hair initially.
I know. And then he went to TNA like 5 years later, cut his hair by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, it's hair to grow back. Jesus, let it go. I mean, it's not like he has a nose like mine and cuts his hair, it would look horrible. But anyway, the match itself was pretty damn good. I got to tell you, I'm I don't mind Kazarian. I don't hate Kazarian. I don't like Kazarian. He's one of those in the middle guys for me. I can deal with him or not. If he's there, I'm not going to bitch about it. If he's not there, I'm not going to bitch about it. But we had Omega on commentary for this match, and Paige was great in this match. These two really did put on a really good match, I thought. And that fucking just everything Paige was doing, he was laying the fuck in, man.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say just like it is what it is. Like we all kind of knew that the purpose of this going into it was to kind of help further along or kind of re-solidify Paige being a singles competitor. And I mean that's pretty much what it did. It made him look good, like good competent singles star. Of course, Omega was on the commentary, and I like that because he was just doing some flashes of being kind of a dick. Mm-hmm. Like he didn't go full on dick mode, but there was at one point in the match where, Kazarian hit a big move on him and he barely ended up kicking out, and Omega was like, "Oh, I'm surprised he kicked out of that. Normally, I'd be out there saving his ass." And I'm just like, "Good job. I like you being a little bit of a snarky prick. I can get behind it."
Well, again, this goes all the way back to when we were talking about that whole thing where, he did the interview and said I was supposed to get a huge push. I mean, look, their little anniversary is coming up. What, in October?
Mm-hmm. October 14th, I think it is going to be their anniversary show.
Which would mean we've been doing these dual shows for a year also because we started doing this that same week.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesdays and Fridays.
Wow. I came on the last Wednesday before Halloween, so I'd be a little bit longer on my behalf. But yeah, it's been quite a while.
This is Halloween. Very nice, very nice. But yeah, my main takeaway from that match is holy shit, Kazarian has fucking pyro. That was it. I literally after that was all I could think about. This motherfucker has pyro. Kazarian. Okay. And I guess they are kind of breaking SCU apart. It looks like. I mean, Scorpio's out there doing his own thing. You got Kazarian doing his own thing. And I think Daniels might be taking a backstage role with them, in my opinion, which I'm fine with. I actually am a fan of Daniels, Christopher Daniels. But I would assume he's just doing something backstage, wouldn't you?
I mean, I guess I think he also. Well, I mean, I guess I don't know what he's really doing right now because of everything that's going on.
Well, yeah,
But he was also doing some like stunt shows and shit. I don't know if
that's
he's still
right.
doing those, but because of everything that's going on. But yeah, I mean, like, and I'm a fan of his too, and I'm not even trying to knock on him, but he literally has been fucking around forever at this point. So, and he's done pretty much everything that there is to do. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's just kind of taking it easy, and if the opportunity presents itself, him jumping back on for a little while, then jumping back off or whatever. But I mean, have him backstage, have him as some kind of mentor, advisory type role. I don't know if creative or agent or whatever, just giving people advice, whatever. Like he has a wealth of knowledge that they could benefit from.
Yeah, definitely does. So I don't know what he's doing now, but if he's not gonna, if they're gonna do that and split them up, I wish him the best of luck. I don't know if he really needs another singles run, honestly. Yeah. Have him come out there. Listen, manager, I would love to see Daniels as someone else's manager. He's a good talker, and he's got a lot of charisma, so I could see him out there as someone's manager too.
He's not bad at it. He kind of played a role like that when he early Ring of Honor. He was at a stable called the Prophecy. He was still a wrestler at the time, but he was kind of a mouthpiece too.
There you go. Yeah. Didn't really see much of that, but all right, there we go. We had the MJF thing next. And MJF just continues to be one of the best heels, in my opinion, in the business. It was him versus Sean Dean. It was what it was. Kind of a squash, in a way. MJF just kind of won the match, beat the shit out of the guy, put him in the salt of the earth, Fujiwara armbar, and got a quick submission win on the guy. But did get on the mic afterwards, called John Moxley a cheater, blah, blah, which he kind of did.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. But like I said, MJF just keeps going and going and going, and just love to fucking hear him talk, man. Love to hear him talk. He's just great on the fucking mic, but I don't know. What you got, man?
Not too much on that. Like you said, it really was just a flat out right squash match. Shook his hand, decked him, gave him the finisher, tapped out. That was about it. Promo was good. Promo's always good, and I like him kind of getting the announcer, Justin Roberts, there we go, I blanked out for a second, to just forcefully announce him with all the extra caveats and nicknames that he put into his title now.
Yes.
The uncrowned champion, the undefeated, all this, this is good stuff. I'm curious to kind of see what his role is going to be, because at the moment they're kind of building towards that anniversary show match with Moxley and Archer, but I don't think they're completely pushing him out of the main event picture, so he's still kind of looming around there, so it's going to be interesting to see what he does, at least until the Moxley-Archer match is over with.
Yeah. He also mentioned had a few wolf references and little wolf pack mentioned there, so I don't know.
Like, you're gonna be in a stable with Lex Luger next week.
Oh Jesus! Don't even get me started on Lex Luger. Don't even do
I
it.
was trying to figure out who I could pull for that, because I don't know. I wouldn't want to see Conan back.
No.
Maybe Sting. I don't know.
No, I don't see Sting going there. Sting's got his little deal. Nash.
Honestly, you say that, but I would totally be down for that.
I would too, man. I'd love to see Nash come back, run a little wolf pack, be the man, just talking on the mic the whole time. I'd love to see that shit.
Just Nash being his normal, natural, dickish self with MJF doing promos. Oh my, that could be a lot of fun.
Holy shit, that could be fucking gold right there, man. Fucking gold.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all I got on that. I mean, how many times can you sit here and put over MJF's fucking mic skills? This Eddie Kingston thing was a little weird. He was out there with Lucha Brothers, Butcher and Blade, and they're out there. They're talking. They're beating up that. God, what's that fucking kid's name? Leaf Luch. What?
Are you talking about the blonde kid?
Yeah.
God, I wish I could. They say his name all the time. He's basically just a taller version of Jungle Boy.
Right, taller, bigger dude. But
it was him, and it was some guy with like blue hair and a pink shirt.
Yeah, I'm sure
I laughed because it's like he straddled on the line so much to not say anything that's going to offend somebody. But you can just tell that he wants to say more than he's saying, because he's just like, beat up the guy with the pink shirt. You like your pink shirt now? But it's like he wants to say more, but he's just like, he can't. And he knows that he can't. He's at least being smart about it.
Yeah, I mean, He definitely does. He definitely wants to say a few more things.
Griff Garrison, there you go. Thank you, Antos.
Yes, Griff Garrison. That would be the guy's name. Yeah, he does want to go indie, if you will. He would not mind going indie, but I think he does know better, and that's good on him. Good on him for knowing that he needs to tone it back a little bit in 2020. But yeah, it was just a little weird. And then the end of it was even more weird when he looks at Blade and he's like, "You get your house in order too." It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, I think they're alluding to the whole thing about, when it was just Butcher and the Blade, they had the bunny with him, and that's his actual, like, for real. He says, I heard wife. I guess they're married now. I thought they were just kind of dating, but
yeah,
neither here nor there. It doesn't really matter. But I think that's what he's alluding to with that. So
yeah,
probably see something involving them. So I guess if you're a big fan of QT Marshall, you're going to be seeing him more often. So
well, there you go. The star of this. Just wait till he's main eventing everybody. And Antox also jumping in with the guy in the blue hair, pink shirt was Kevin Blackwood. Kevin Blackwood. Not sure who he is, but I guess if you want to jump on the old Google machine and take a peek, you'll know who he is after that. Anyway, that's that scene. Did that. Private Party versus Jericho and Hager. All honesty, I missed this match.
The tag team match? You said Private Party, Jericho and Hager.
Yeah, I missed it. I was getting my kid to bed, and I missed most of this match. I apologize.
Honestly, there's no point in going for move, but I actually thought it was better than, based on the glowing review we gave it at the beginning, I actually thought it was better than the opening tag team match with the whole, FTR and Lucha Express. Jurassic Express, sorry. And it was pretty good because they did a good job of making Jericho and Hager out to be, like an actual team, having them kind of work out their chemistry together and show what they can do as a unit and not just as being stablemates. It's a little bit of a different way to play it when you're doing that. Obviously they see a lot in Private Party, so they don't want to completely chump them out. They gave them some pretty good offense too. It was a pretty long match, but not, tedious, not unnecessarily long. It was enjoyable. What I was thinking about, we were talking about FTR. It seems like, obviously Jericho Hager, they're trying to go for the tag team championships. I really wonder what they're going to do when and if they end up becoming like number one contenders if FTR still has the belts, because like I just can't see, even the small amount of crowd that they have in there, I just can't see them like going against Jericho in that scenario. Like they're both heeled teams, FTR and Jericho and Hager, but I feel like if Jericho and Hager went after FTR, Jericho would just be like super over as a face inadvertently.
True, he would be, but all right, yeah, like I said, I missed that match. I actually came back in the middle of the women's NWA Championship match with Ivelisse and Thunder Rosa. I came back in the middle of that. Looked like they were having a great match. By the replays I saw, it looked like they really had a good match. You might want to chime in on this because I didn't see the whole match.
Yeah, I mean, your thought is correct. They're both really good workers, so they did end up having a really good match. You had Ivelisse and Diamante was out there too, and they came out. They had their medals because they won the tag team tournament. But yeah, just kind of just back and forth. Actually, I kind of liked it a little bit better than the pay-per-view match that Sheeta had with Thunder Rosa. So if that tells you anything, and then after the match, they had the whole kind of post-match beatdown when you had Diamante and Ivelisse working over Thunder Rosa, and then Sheeta came in and helped her out. So I guess they're going to be having a match. I think it was announced for next week. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think you.
They're doing that, but then they're also doing this coming Tuesday, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
A special after the NBA basketball game. They're doing a late night Dynamite. They're promoting that pretty hard.
Oh, late night Dynamite. I like it.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. All right, I guess we'll see what happens with that. Let's go ahead to the next little segment here because I do have one thing to say. Holy, Miro's jacked as fuck, dude. Motherfucker has Scott Steiner fucking biceps, dude.
Ooh, yeah, I mean, I guess he's had time to kind of work on it, but I just don't remember him ever really being that jacked up.
Guess he's had
towards the end.
Well, he might have had time for a cycle. I don't know. But that son of a bitch is jacked, dude. I looked at his biceps, and I'm like, motherfucker's got Steiner biceps.
Yeah, he's pumping.
He's pumping something. Might be Lana. Who knows?
Good for him. I'm really curious what they're going to do with him because, like, they're very kind of easing him in because they're not really telling you what he's about just yet. And it seems like something's going to happen because, I mean, it's just the course of nature. You can't have a wrestling wedding without there being shenanigans afoot. So something's going to happen, but I'm very curious to see what they're going to have him do.
I know, it'd be even like really funny if the wedding just really happened and everyone would just be like, what the fuck is that? What? I mean, they ate the cake, dude. The cake never gets eaten. They ate the cake. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens here. But definitely some
They
weird
mentioned
shit.
something about doing a bachelor party, so I don't know if that's going to be like a vignette that they do. That can be pretty fun.
Yeah, that'll be pretty good. That will be pretty fucking good. And yeah, like Antok said on that last women's match, it is going to be Sheeta and Rosa versus Ivelisse and Diamante. That'll be a good match for next week. But after that, we had this little thing with Team Archer and Team Moxley. They're setting them up for next week's match. And we get Lance Archer out there, the murder hawk himself.
Yeah.
And he pulls a masked dude out of the crowd, beats the shit out of him. But what made me very confused here is, they've been kind of going at it. Not really confusing, I guess. This always happens. They've been going at it with Taz. What's his name? Jake Roberts and Lance Archer. Taz and his crew. And suddenly now they're on the same team. Obviously, there's going to be tension, which is going to cause the other team, which is going to be Moxley, Darby Allin, who he called out, and Will Hobbs, who reminds me of a younger Big E. Got the same, please don't take that the wrong way, but same kind of the big jacked up body. He definitely has some charisma in him. And I don't know a lot about the guy. I don't know where he wrestled before. I don't know a lot about the guy, but definitely want to see more of this guy. So I guess we'll see a lot more of him coming up next week.
Yeah, they put out, I guess, that he's officially under contract now. So it seemed like they want to do something with him. He seems like he's getting over pretty well. I'm not even saying anything bad about him. I just haven't really seen anything yet that's really kind of made me like a fan of his. But I mean, he's still time's young. He's still young. They really haven't used him all that much yet anyway, so it's a small sample size, I guess is what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
But yeah, they definitely see something in him, and I've definitely heard some good things. Like, there's a lot of people online that seem to really enjoy him. I wasn't super familiar with him either. Like, I don't know what indies that he wrestled on because I can't recall seeing him, not very often. But yeah, like Anthony was saying, I mean, they made a big deal about him in the Casino Battle Royal. He was like picking up for himself, just going after the bigger guys. He wasn't shying away from that. So yeah, I mean, they definitely see a potential in him. They're definitely trying to push him as a star, and I mean that's good because they do need their own sort of in-house guys. You can't just completely rely on, the WWE guys. I think for by and large, the WWE guys they have, they're good, but it helps to have your own in-house talent.
Yeah, and I've got Antox in here saying that Will Hobbs has been on the scene since 2009. Worked APW, going to be at that GCW show in October, the For the Culture show against Calvin Tankman. Don't know much about him either, but
he is a big boy.
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of just in terms of body type of who I could compare him, like almost kind of a King Kong Bundy. Like, he's a big motherfucker, Calvin Tankman. I'll bring up a picture posted here in the
I'm looking
chat.
right now. I'm searching Google. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and I mean, he moves pretty well. Like, I mean, he can't work super long, but he moves pretty well for himself. He had a pretty good match with Chris Dickinson.
Yeah, looks like he's done some MLW stuff. He's a big dude. I mean, he's not like completely a tub of goo, but he's a big son of a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
He's a big dude. He's a big son of a bitch, man. Jesus Christ. That's going to be a good match between those two. A couple of fucking hosses going at it.
Yeah, that should be fun.
That's going to be a nice one. I like that shit. And Sean in the chat saying that Hobbs is a Cali guy, California. So, nice. He's seen him at shows out there. Nice.
Right on.
Very nice, very nice. And then pretty much all we have is we already talked about the main event. We did forget to mention that Orange Cassidy did come in and kind of get the win for the Best Friends. He came sneaking out of the trunk of the car, one of the cars, and had a chain wrapped around his hand, hit Santana, right? Was it Santana he hit? Yes, it was Santana.
It was, yeah.
And they basically won the match because of Orange Cassidy. So we did forget to mention that. Had to throw that in. Couldn't get past it without it.
Mm-hmm. And he's going to be, Orange Cassidy, I believe it's next week that they announced this, is going to be competing for the TV title.
Really? Oh, so Cody's coming back.
I know, against, what's his name?
Oh, that's Brody. Right. Brody. I forgot. Brody, Cody. Come on, man.
No, we didn't talk about it last week, but I don't know if you saw it at the very end. You might have been getting ready. He's got a game show. The big
was it
fucking
Go Big Show, I think it was.
Yeah, Cody's a big fan of the Big Show. I think that's another show.
I think that might be. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, the Go Big Show. That's what you're talking. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah, I did see that. We did forget to mention it. It looked. It looks like a stunt version of America's Got Talent, kind of. They get the higher flying acts, if you will, the daredevils and shit like that. So I don't know, could be interesting. Like I said, man, it's just so weird to see Cody out there trying to be this big star, and he's got that fucking tattoo on his neck.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I mean, I guess because like I don't know, he doesn't have the same type of charisma that like The Rock has. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, okay, who fucking does? But it seemed like his kind of appeal was always just that he was kind of a conventionally handsome dude, which could probably get him somewhat far in Hollywood just on its own merit. But then you go and get the neck tattoo, and it's like, I don't know, like you're kind of ruining what your aesthetic appeal could be.
A little bit. I mean, in movies they can, cover that, but on a game show they're not going to worry about it. They don't care. But I don't know. And Talk says, you think Rosario Dawson asked about the tattoo? Probably. Man, she still looks great, by the way. Mm-hmm. And who was the other host on that show?
I know Snoop is involved somehow.
Yeah, Snoop was one of them. Snoop was one of the judges, just like Cody was.
And I think it's hosted by Brett Kirschner. I always forget how to pronounce his name. He's a stand-up comedian. The Machine.
All right. Yeah, it's going to be a weird show. I guess we'll see what happens. I don't know. I forgot when it started. I think it was sometime. Was it October? September? I don't know. When? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have to talk about it at some point. I don't know. I just those whole reality shows, especially the competition ones, the non-competition ones, they just never really do anything for me. But I mean, if it's interesting enough, I might give it a shot.
Yeah, they're kind of all the same in a way. I mean, they've pretty much used up their value a long time ago. But all right, I mean, that was AEW. I guess we can get into Raw a little bit. No, I'm not going match for match on Raw. There ain't no way. Was a good show. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit. I actually did enjoy most of Raw. We got a lot of Keith Lee and a lot of Drew McIntyre on this show. That I don't know what else to say. I mean, that's really what we did. We got a lot of that, but I will say one of my favorite parts of this Raw was the Raw Underground with Braun Strowman out there just fucking throwing motherfuckers around.
I like that part. I will not shit on that part of it. However, I noticed before he went in there, what I think I don't like about Braun Strowman is that A, his voice just sounds incredibly fake. Like, he definitely sounds like he's trying to do a wrestling voice.
Mm-hmm.
And B, and this is, you could say this about a lot of people, the way that they script their promos, but he talks like in a way that no human being talks. Because he was like threatening Shane McMahon, and he was like, if you don't let me in, you will be torn asunder by the weight of your own ignorance. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you know, you're supposed to be this big tough guy. Like, don't get overly poetic with this shit. Just go, I want to go punch somebody in the face. You know, if you stand in my way, I'm going to punch you in the face.
You like, go tell them the monster is here.
Shane McMahon just walks in, does the shuffle. It's like, yo, guys, the monster's here.
Who? What? Huh? Okay. But you're right. It was a little awkward, that part. And what makes it more awkward is Shane is taller than Braun, and that other guy, the guy at the door, just a frigging giant of a man.
Yeah, Anti exposed his name in the chat. Jordan Omagbian, I think is how it's pronounced. I've heard it been pronounced before, but it's still new to me. But yeah, that bodyguard just fucking towered over him. Like, I wouldn't have been half surprised if you just because he was kind of trying to threaten the bodyguard too. I almost wouldn't have been surprised if the bodyguard just straight up beat his ass.
The bodyguard was just like looking at him like, yeah, go ahead. Okay.
Which makes me laugh. I mean, I guess that's the purpose of the bodyguard. You can't have him getting muscled out, but it just made me laugh that he just didn't flinch, like just kind of didn't sell it at all, and just kind of puffed up. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, not much you can do, but I did really enjoy Raw Underground this week. I thought it was one of the better ones. What else did I
setting up for next week too? Because I got Strowman beat the shit out of pretty much everybody, and then Davikato stepped up. And Shane, hurry up and got in there. He's like, no, this is a next week thing. We're going to do this next week.
Yeah, I actually definitely want to see that. So they got a little tease for next week, which is going to be pretty cool. What else did I really like on Raw? Oh, Cedric Alexander coming out with the Hurt Business and cutting a hell of a promo, if I must say so.
Yeah, I think he did a really good job, and I think they did a really good job just in general of getting the Hurt Business over this week.
Yeah, definitely.
Cedric, like you were talking about, since we're talking about Cedric right now, I just like the whole idea of just like, you know, everybody's been asking me why I turned on my friends. Like, this is a business. I'm here to get paid. Fuck those guys. And I was just like, all right, cool, right on. I like it.
Yeah, he kind of got the Kevin Nash philosophy going there. But he cut a great promo, showed a ton of fucking character and personality and charisma in that promo. I was really impressed. I didn't think he was known as really a promo guy. But
not really. I mean, I hate to say it because that's what everybody says about everyone. But he is a better heel. He had a little bit of a venture in Ring of Honor, a bit of a run as a heel there. So he was pretty good in that role. But I mean, you know, you ask anybody on the internet, everybody's a better heel. So it is what it is. But yeah.
Yeah, except for Sheamus. But yeah, I thought it was great. I loved when the Hurt Business went back and was talking to Adam Pearce. And And he's like, thanks for volunteering. MVP looked at him like he had 12 heads.
Yeah, they all just kind of took turns in their own special way of laughing at him.
Yeah, MVP was like, the fuck you mean? I love the look on his face. It was beautiful. It was fucking beautiful.
Yeah, this isn't a charity. We will help you, but at a nominal fee.
Yeah. I wish he had said reasonable. A reasonable fee.
Right?
Don't worry, we'll make it sensible for you. It'll be a sensible fee. It'll be a sensible fee.
But I really like that, though, because they're not... Like, this happens all the time where you have, like, especially when they do one brand versus the other, that even the bad guys are just it's so important to them that they honor the integrity of their brand, that they're just completely compromise what their characters are about. So I like the idea that they're going after the invading faction, but they're still, like, staying true to their character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They definitely are, man. It's I don't know, man. I really they're doing some good stuff on Raw right now. I mean, not everything is great, but the good stuff they're doing is getting really good.
Mm-hmm.
Is getting really good. So I'm definitely, like I said, I really actually enjoyed Raw this week. What else can I go for here? We had the Retribution thing. They spoke again. As far as I'm concerned, that guy on the left was The Miz.
You know, I've heard that too. They were talking about that a little bit on The Observer, that it looked like it was just The Miz just filling out a role. Where it's just like they were short one person or whatever, and he was like, yeah, I'll do it. Why not?
Yeah, but again, Meltzer was saying that the people we were seeing, even the people talking, could not be the same ones. They could swerve you completely. I am still not going to keep my hopes up for the reveals. I'm still not going to do it. I've got what Retribution said. It's like almost 3 minutes. What the hell, right?
Sure.
Yeah, let me go ahead and get it rolling. Here we go. First of all, I hated that they came up and they're like, with their logo on the screen, and now they're getting professional. They're getting professional Retribution, these Antifa type people. So, they're going a little overproduced and overboard with this.
You assume they'll have their own business cards?
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do already. You know, phone numbers and websites and charitable things. Here we go.
So-called superstars. We are the product of empty promises. The results of lies, greed, and betrayal. We once trusted, but now we walk with eyes wide open.
We see what you are. Waste, scrap, byproduct. When you show loyalty to an entity that casts people aside like garbage, you become garbage. When you sell your soul to a corrupt machine, you become corrupt. Like you. We once believed that our time at a performance center would lead us to fame and wealth. Unlike you, we refuse to suck up to an entitled regime.
Okay, that is 155% Dominic Dijakovic. You don't even need to see his face by the way his left hand is moving. Mm-hmm. Because if you watch him cut promos and if you watch him talk and go out to the ring, he's always moving. It's the same mannerisms. That's definitely Dijakovic. I'm going to keep going.
So while you enjoy your last days of oblivion, we prepare to show you exactly who we are while we gut your reality. We are Retribution.
Feast your eyes. Oh, wait. Oh, it wasn't that long. Yeah, you can feast your eyes on that, right, Dominic? So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I think they're starting to go a little overproduced and overboard on the Retribution thing being, like, very professional and shit, but I don't know. I'm not crazy about it still. And again, I'm not looking forward to the reveals. I think we're going to all be a little disappointed, but I hope I'm wrong. Some things I like being wrong. This one I kind of hope I am.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Like we talked about, they've just got off to such a bad start. that they're going to need something big to kind of swing the momentum. And it just doesn't seem like that's in the horizon in the future at any point. I feel like at some point, especially relatively soon, they're going to have to start letting one or two people at least kind of trickle out. I feel like they at least need like one person to be revealed as sort of the spokesman. Because I feel like, and I thought it was a good idea at first, but I just don't think that these sort of like voice recorder promos are really doing it. And it doesn't even really like everything that they say is just kind of vague. There's like no real motive or intention. Like you get the idea that they were like given false promises and kind of dicked over, but just very vague and very inspecifically. Like I feel like you need at least one person out there talking about, the exact way that they were screwed and misled and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, look, if the reveals come out and it's like Bret Hart and Rikishi, I'll be happy. I
mean, that'd be interesting, I suppose.
Bret Hart is the leader. Rikishi's out there. Y'all told me if I didn't go to TNA, you'd bring me back. You lied. So I went. Fuck you.
Right?
Shove your brass ring up your ass. But yeah, and again, we might as well knock this out while we're talking about Retribution. They had to come out to the ring at the end of the show. Hurt Business came out, so obviously Adam Pearce coughed up a check for something. And I don't know, it was wasn't great. I mean, it was a typical beatdown. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was fun. I think they did a good job of, like I said, hyping up the Hurt Business, so it actually looked like it was actually kind of exciting when they ended up locking horns. And I like the idea that it seems like that's going to be kind of their feud, or at least a mini feud.
Right.
So that'll be interesting. Like just like we were saying, it kind of was your typical, brawl. They kind of, and then it came at the end of the main event, so they basically just kind of had a no finish for the main event. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of, but by and large, it was all right.
Yeah, it was just all right. But yeah, you are correct. It did end the main event, so really didn't have a winner in that. But I didn't really care about that. Now, let's get into the controversy of the show. Oh, Smark.
Are we talking about Keith Lee's singlet?
No.
Because, I mean, that was very jarring. He seems like he's apparently a big old fan of Bret Hart, since we mentioned him earlier.
Yeah. Looking like the Big Show a little bit coming out there. But I have no problem with the singlet. I really don't. I don't care. I'm actually fine with it. Many big dudes have worn the singlet before. That's what a lot of the big guys wear. I mean, you go back to fucking Andre. And I know he's not a fucking giant, Keith Lee, but you go back to Andre, you go back to Bundy, you go back to a lot of those fucking guys, and they were out there in singlets, man. A lot of those big son of a bitches. Mm-hmm. So Keith Lee is a big dude, and I don't see a problem with the singlet. I know everyone's like, man, I'd just rather see him out there with no shirt on. All right, well, listen. Go look at pictures if you really need to see him with no shirt on. And I'm fine with the singlet. There you go.
I just want him to keep doing it every week where he has some kind of like elaborate change of his attire. Mm-hmm. Like next week you have him come out in like the full bodysuit but with like one arm exposed, like old school Kane style. And just every week he just gets a new fucking outlandish look.
Yeah, but I mean, what are there? A bunch of guys sitting there? I mean, just think if he starts pulling the singlet down and getting that look, people will be like, finally! There's that gut, man. I've been waiting for that gut. Okay, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
If he pulls down one strap of the singlet and he throws his arm up in the air like the Big Show, I'm fucking done. I'm just changing the channel. I'm deleting Raw off the DVR. That's going to be the extent of that episode that I watch.
That'll be a short episode. Yeah, I don't know, but I got no problems with the singlet at all. I really don't. I don't know why people are bitching about it. Leave it alone. Let it evolve. Let it simmer, and then let it boil. Just leave it alone. Let it go for a little while. But that is not the controversy I was talking about. It was the Mickie James controversy. against Asuka in the title match. There was a little bit of a controversy in the way the match was called. Mickie James didn't look like she was tapping. It looked like she was trying to grab the mat to turn herself over or push herself up. And the ref called the match. I don't know what was happening. They said she couldn't continue, but if you look at her, she's looking at the ref like, what the fuck was that about?
Right. Yeah, she basically reversed the Asuka lock. It looked like they were doing one of those kind of things where, you know, you have like kind of the screwy finish almost. We have one person that's like got a submission hold locked in, but then they're so wrapped up into the submission hold and executing it that their shoulders touch the mat and the referee starts to count.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of getting that, he just stopped the match short. And it was just like, you could obviously tell, I mean, no shit, I'm not really exposing anything, that wasn't the planned finish. Because you just had everybody except for the referee. You had, like, Mickie was looking confused. Everybody on commentary had no idea how to play it, so it was just dead air.
Yeah.
It was just very confusing. And it was a shame because up until that point, it was a very good match, and they put a lot of time and effort into promoting it, or at least as much time and effort as they put into promoting anything these days. Because they announced it the week before, then you had the whole vignette that they made for Mickie, and you had her cutting the promo about how she's been wrestling for, you know, so long, and this might be her last shot, so how it needs to be important to her, and how she needs to capitalize on it, because she doesn't know if she'll ever get another one. And, you know, that they're telling the whole story during the match about her time away and an injury and how she kind of came on to be a mentor at first, and then she realizes that she needs to go for her own and try to have one last run of success as a singles competitor and so on and so forth. And then you just have this very abrupt ending to the match that kind of killed any of the steam and momentum. And the thing is, though, is that I think, and I almost feel like they have to, which means that they'll completely drop it and there'll be no mention of it next week. But I feel like they almost have to have this be an angle somehow, some way. I don't know how exactly, but I feel like you can't just let this die on the vine.
No, I agree with you. You definitely need to. They'll do something with this. There was enough controversy to where they're going to be like, all right, let's do something. But then after that match, and that whole controversy, which, I mean, it's not a huge thing. I think they are going to turn it into a storyline. I'm sure they will. Zelina Vega comes out to the ring. My God, the outfit she was wearing, she looked like she was dipped in wax. My God, this girl is just, yeah, she can't look any better. And then she comes out next week and she looks fucking better. My God. She is just a gorgeous girl, man. Just amazing. A gorgeous, gorgeous woman. But she comes out and starts, looks like it's going to be her and Asuka. So it looks like we are going to get a little bit of Zelina Vega and Asuka. Now, this puts a little bit of question on, because they did tease a little thing with Andrade and Angel Garza, where they're again arguing, which they've been doing. It's nothing surprising at all, right, Smark? Not surprising, but she kind of put her hands up and was like, I can't do this anymore, and walked away. And then went down and did this little thing. So looks like those two are going to have a few issues. Now, I was reading somewhere, I'm trying to think, I don't remember if I pulled it or not. I might have saved it. I'm going to actually check for it real quick. It looks like people are worried about Andrade since Paul Heyman left, or not left, but isn't in charge of doing the creative anymore. He was a huge fan of Andrade and Angel Garza, which can't fucking blame him for that shit. So he was a huge fan of them, and it looks as if not everyone in the office is that big of a fan of Angel Garza, so a lot of people are worried about his future. I can't even pull up my saved things on Facebook because it is giving me an error.
Give me a second here. I'll do a quick search.
Yeah, see if you can find that article, because there was a whole article about it. I think it was a Wrestling Inc. article, if I'm not mistaken. But A lot of people are worried, though, about Andrade and what's going to happen with him. Like I said, Heyman was one of his biggest advocates, no pun intended, and also for Angel Garza. And it's all coming a little bit not the way that it kind of should be. But I don't know. I mean, I like both those guys, to be honest with you.
Okay, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too, and I have said this. I mean, not that it was really a limb that I was going on, because it seemed like that was a general consensus in terms of feelings and vibes that everybody was getting. But I said before, when we were talking about Heyman being kind of taken off creative, I said that those are the two guys that I'm the most worried about, because it just didn't seem like they had that much footing and that much potential to kind of thrive and be successful with Bruce Pritchard. It just seems like, to me, Bruce Pritchard kind of comes from that school of the same way that Vince does. If you have one star from one demographic, you don't need more than one, regardless of how talented they are. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it is what it is. They're pushing the shit out of, and rightfully so, because I mean, he's talented. I'm not trying to shit on him, but I mean, it's not right now is the big moment for Dominic. Mm-hmm. So I feel like they feel like they have their bases covered in terms of, you know, the Hispanic or the Latino demographic, that's going to be the person that they put out there, when really they're kind of doing themselves a disservice, because I feel like all three of them, and especially Angel and Andrade, they can all go. They're all super talented. I feel like if you're just looking to build a good roster, you could benefit from using all of them. Anyways, we were talking about, I went ahead and looked up here. This is from The Sun, so UK.
Yep.
But WWE chief Vince McMahon does not see Angel Garza and Andrade as top stars of the future. And if you scroll down a little bit here, speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, journalist Dave Meltzer revealed when Heyman got replaced, I was kind of told Aleister Black and Andrade were two guys that were going to be in trouble. Vince doesn't necessarily see a lot in them compared to what Heyman saw in them. It appeared that Zelina Vega splitting from Garza and Andrade. I can see Garza being forgotten, but maybe not. But there's... Let me try that again. I ran out of breath. I can see Garza being forgotten, but maybe not. But if there is a split, Andrade feels like he's going to be the one. If they're going to do Garza versus Andrade, it's probably going to be Garza that goes over, and Andrade is the one that gets forgotten.
Amazing, in my opinion, dude. I mean, Andrade has maybe... I don't know if this is a thing or not, but maybe it's because Angel Garza speaks clearer English. They might see him as more of a future star. But I see both those guys as future stars, man. Especially Andrade. I don't know. Kind of. You think maybe they might punish Andrade a little bit for being with Charlotte? You know how that company is, man.
I mean, if anything, that seems like that'd be incentive to push him. Like, it seems like he'd be like, oh, you know, we love Charlotte, we love Rick, you're part of the family now. You know, well, I'm honestly surprised that they haven't yet done anything, because it seemed like they were kind of leading down that road a little bit when you had Andrade and Garza with Orton and Flair. They were working on his behalf when they both lost the fucking Big Show in a handicap match. So it seemed like they might have been like kind of switching gears. For me to say, except not really, to like kind of teasing, maybe putting together Flair and Andrade. But unfortunately, that's not the case. I mean, I guess I could see them punishing them, but if anything, like I said, I thought it would be the reason why they would push him. And it's really interesting too, because I was reading this article here. Andrade is only 30. Yeah. So like he is still, for his age, he's fucking phenomenal. And he has a lot of time even now. You know, it seems like you really don't reach your prime as a wrestler until like about 35, 36.
I'll tell you what, man. If they really don't see anything in him, they would be moronic not to put him, just say, you know what, why don't you go back to NXT? He would thrive because I think they could use him over there. Mm-hmm. I think he would be great back in NXT. He could fucking probably take that shit over.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly believe, especially with him being on Raw, but I think in general, he's one of their best just in-ring performers. Like, he's one of their best workers, I think, because a lot of the matches he has, when you actually let him have a big, long, important match, it's just top-notch stuff.
You can even put him in that little faction that they've got going on. He would fit right in that faction. He has the fucking look. He's got the fucking attitude. Legado El Fantasma, is that it? El Fantasma?
Yeah, just, bring him, like you said, yeah, exactly. Like you said, just pair him up with Phantasma and his group. And let him wreak havoc.
Jeez, yeah. I mean, the guy already looks fucking great in a suit. Might as well just throw him in there. Just throw him in there.
It's a little disappointing, though, I got to admit, because, I mean, this is the end of that whole experiment of them being a tag team, and they never ended up holding the tag team belts, so that's kind of surprising.
You never know. Down the line, they could get back. Maybe, I don't know. You know how WWE, oh, well, maybe we missed something there.
Right.
You never know how it's going to go. All right. Now, I expected this to be the main event. It was not. Seth Rollins and Dominic in this cage.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, dude. Dominic has proven himself to be one tough son of a bitch and a really good fucking wrestler, man. A really good, for his age and for his little experience. I know who his dad is. I know, but that doesn't always mean you are your dad.
I was kind of thinking about it. This isn't really saying a lot, so I mean, it's not a hell of a compliment, but I feel like he's already kind of a better promo, which, again, not saying much of anything, but, he at least has that going for him.
Yeah, not quite sure how long they're going to bring the whole family out there. I would say maybe only 2 or 3 more weeks, and I think then it's going to look like a little odd. So,
well, I think that's factoring in. I think that's going to be part of the story device that they use moving forward.
Well, obviously it is with Aaliyah giving Murphy, and we'll get into the match a little bit, but giving Murphy a little bit of kind of a little attention, kind of, oh my God, are you okay? Obviously earlier, we forgot to mention, before this match, there was a little thing where Seth Rollins was back there with Murphy, kind of giving him shit, kind of beating on him a little bit, slapping him around, literally slapping him around, telling him he stays back there. He doesn't want to deal with his shit, is what he was telling him, or mistakes. And Murphy, this is obviously heading somewhere. Obviously, it's heading towards Murphy eventually beating the shit out of Seth Rollins. And possibly now going with Aaliyah with this little thing going on. I don't know if what's going to happen with this. WWE can touch on, do these little storylines quickly and end them abruptly. We don't know. But after that, eventually, after the match, we did have Buddy Murphy come down, and Seth Rollins beat the shit out of him. Took the cage, smashed it against his face, the door. And Aaliyah kind of went up to him and kind of gave him I kind of feel sorry for you. Are you okay? Obviously, that's Ray's daughter. I really thought Dominic might be the one that's going to turn and go with Seth, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's going to be the girl that kind of gets pulled into this, because I think as much as Seth is beating up Buddy Murphy, that's going to be I think that's going to be a longer storyline than we think it is.
Right.
I didn't mean to overtalk that. Please go ahead.
No, no worries. Yeah, I mean, I think that was kind of the obvious way that we all thought it was just going to go, with Dominic being the one to turn on his dad. But I do kind of like the element that they're introducing where it might end up being the daughter, because it's just like she is sort of an unknown entity at this point. Like, we've seen her a couple of times, but she's never really talked, and we don't really know that much about her just from like a character perspective. So it'd be interesting to see if they do end up pulling the trigger on that, what her motives would be and what her logic would be behind, turning on her family or what have you. Just a matter of, like, she's not getting enough attention, or it's always been about Dominic or just whatever. There's a billion ways that they could play it, but yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. And like we were talking about the match itself, it was a pretty good match. You had mentioned when we were talking about the NXT match in the main event there, the cage match, where it looked like they might have used a different cage. They had a very interesting cage setup in this one, too. It looked like it was different. It looked like it's not the same type of cage they use. It looked like kind of small, like a kind of a more compact, almost like a portable cage.
Yeah, it did look a little more compact, yeah, definitely. I'm sure it is portable. They make everything portable. They just take it with us.
Right.
So, which I get. I mean, you throw it in the back of a truck and you go. But yeah, definitely different cage. But once again, man, Dominic Pullen definitely showing that he's ready to definitely be in the spot he's in. I really can't complain one thing about Dominic. I mean, some people are complaining about his gear. Dude, leave this gear alone. Let him tribute his dad for a while. I think he's going to eventually break into his own. He's going to get eventually all the gear he's got is going to be worn. Mm-hmm. And then I think he's going to break into his own eventually. And I don't know. Let's just wait a little bit before we start. Right now, they're doing the family thing, so he's representing his family right now. So, I don't know. But I just see a lot of people online like, his gear sucks. His gear, stop. You're not your dad. Well, obviously. So, calm down. Again, calm down.
While we are talking about gear, did you happen to notice the kind of homage that Ray was paying to Paul Stanley with his mask?
No, I didn't, but...
He was wearing a silver mask, and he had over the eye that he covers, he had a, black star painted above it, very
Did he?
big. Yeah, it was very much it's not even just a coincidence, because on the back, he had Ray written in the font that they use. So I could dig it up here. Maybe we'll see if I can... Twitter has a picture of it.
He was Starman. He was Starman.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. I didn't even catch that. Dude, I kind of flew through Raw a little bit last night. I'm not going to lie.
I tried to, too, but it just kind of stood out to me.
Yeah.
I mean, by and large, we're talking about Raw. It was basically segmented. There was three big kind of things. Because you had we already talked about it. We had the Mickie James Asuka match. You had the Ray Seth match, and then you had the Keith Lee Drew McIntyre match, along with like we were talking about with the Hurt Business. But basically, all 3 hours had their big match. Mm-hmm. So that was basically the only thing you really needed to see if you hadn't already seen this episode of Raw, was just those matches and then those segments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, and yeah, it was. So let's see, what else do we need to get into on Raw? Another guy that is also in a little bit of limbo right now is Aleister Black. Kind of the same story with him is what they're saying with Paul Heyman being gone. He might be another one that kind of falls to the wayside a little bit. We'll have to see what happens with him. But him and KO had a good match. Kevin Owens did win that match. They bitched out Lana a little bit this week.
Mm-hmm. Well, because you had kind of two different ways. Because it was very much of you had it was kind of the catalyst for Andrade and Garza breaking up, because you had Garza. Her and Garza were flirting. Because she came over to talk to him about how great Natty was, and then Garza started doing his Garza magic, and she was like, "Oh well, I like part of your jib." And then Vega comes out, just like, "You fucking out there prowling pussy again, and we still don't have these tag belts. Fuck you, I'm done." So you had that, and then you had her taking that Samoan drop.
Yeah. She had a few. Not a very good few moments on this show, but I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens with Lana. Not looking good is all I'm going to say. But let's see what happens. They may just punish her for a couple of weeks and then move on. I couldn't even say that with a straight face. I really couldn't. What did you think of this brawl between McIntyre and Keith Lee that they kind of had? They were kind of talking as friends. Next thing you know, they're sort of slapping each other around. Next thing you know, they're beating the shit out of each other. What'd you think?
Right, yeah, because you had, at the very beginning of the show, you had McIntyre coming out talking about how basically his chin, I think it was?
Mm-hmm. Jaw,
yes, jaw. His jaw is compromised. If he takes one big blow to the jaw, he's going to have to require extensive surgery. They were already kind of recommending that for him anyway, but he's not going anywhere. He's not going to lose his title. He doesn't want to vacate. So he's going to keep soldiering on, which kind of makes him seem like a giant fucking idiot if he's coming out here. Because we talked about before, I think one of the shows were about how people never watch promos or hear like what the commentators say about them.
Mm-hmm.
So it would change the way that they interact. But you have Drew McIntyre coming out here and just telling everybody, he's like, okay, well, here's my number one big weakness. But please just do not kick me in the jaw. My jaw can just snap at any fucking minute.
Yeah.
So like, I get what they're trying to do, because obviously I feel like they're setting up for, can Drew manage to withstand, endure one of those punts that Orton does? I feel like that's going to be kind of the big moment that this all leads to. But still, it just makes him look like a giant idiot, where he's like, hey, okay, here's my weak spot. Don't touch it, though. That's all gentleman's honor. But yes, anyways, he makes that a big deal about how vulnerable that is. And then Keith Lee starts kind of acting like he's going to slap him in the jaw.
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps swatting his arm down. And then eventually he just gives him the warning where it's like, all right, you do this again, we're fighting. And Keith Lee's like, all right, well, let's do it. So then they end up having this big brawl, and I thought it was all right. Like I like it. It was a rumor already. It's kind of common knowledge that was the rumor that Keith Lee was eventually going to kind of turn heel, and the reason they were having him be McIntyre's friend was eventually he was going to turn on him, and then he was going to have this big heel run. Mm-hmm. So it seems like that's the initial phase of what we're seeing right now, and I'm all for it. It'll be fun. I think Keith Lee is a good heel.
Yeah,
he's very naturally smug, naturally confident type of person, which that can work as a face too. But it also, like I said, I think he could be definitely a great heel. So if that's where they are indeed going with this, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and his promo style is so unique that it can fit a heel also, because it's it's a little odd, it's awkward, but it is unique. And
I would say kind of plotting.
Yeah, but it really just fits him. I could not see, I'm going to tell you, anyone else that cut a promo like that, I would be like, that dude is awful, but it just fits him, his aura, his character, his style. It just fits him. It's like, oh, well, that's a Keith Lee promo. Oh, that's a Keith. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, but for some reason, his cadence, his everything he does just goes with his style, his character, his everything, and it just fits him. But anyone else that did a promo like that, I think I would shit on it, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's very much like I am building up to this point. Right, just all of that. Where it's very much kind of, it's like a roller coaster where you can just see it kind of going up, and like normally the traditional style promo is at that point, somebody would be screaming about something, but he maintains like the even tone of voice. But you could just there's always that kind of like almost like radio kind of cadence of like they're leading up to a rant about something, but they just never quite get there. Well,
it's also very calculated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
sort of maniacal in a way. So that's why I think number one, it fits him. Number two, it's going to fit a heel more. Yeah, he does say some corny lines. We know they're written for him, so let's not fucking shit on the guy for that.
Right.
Yeah, but like I said, I think any other person that cut a promo in that style, I would be like, they suck. But Keith Lee comes out there, it just fits everything about him. So I don't know.
Confidence to pull it off, I think.
That might be the confidence he has in it. He comes out, he says it like he believes it, but like I said, lines can be corny. Every now and then the Limitless thing But it looks like he's going to back off on the Limitless thing a little bit if he's going to be heel and, not give the, finger quote, crowd what they want. But honestly, man, I really got nothing else to mention on Raw. Did we forget anything? We got the Retribution thing. We got that. We got the Raw Underground. Dabakato. I don't know, man.
No, I mean, that's pretty much it. We did have the Street Profits and Cesaro Nakamura. That was a pretty good match. You had a lot of Montez Ford. That's what I was looking for.
Yes.
He took a lot of big bumps.
Yes. Always
he took
does.
One, it was like an assisted powerbomb type of thing right into the barrier, and that looked like that hurt like a motherfucker.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely did. But that he's just a resilient son of a bitch, man.
Mm-hmm.
He really, and my God, when he goes off that fucking rope, man, it's a springboard.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's fucking jumping off a goddamn diving board.
Yeah, it is crazy.
It's ridiculous. And he's so... I don't want to use the word lanky because he's a very cut guy. He's a very built guy. But he's just a lanky, tall dude. And it looks like he's even higher because of that.
He's long.
Yeah, there you go. He's lengthy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I would just say more than anything, just kind of graceful, too. Because, like, there are some people where it's like they'll do these dives and they look like they just barely hit it. Or sometimes you'll have, like Sabu always struck me as somebody where it's like, yeah, he does all this cool shit, but he lands, like, 5% of it. Some of these moves are really cool, but if you're, like, botching them almost all the time, it's like, I'd rather see you do something that you're going to actually hit or going to actually make it look like you're hitting it, make it look good. But when Ford comes out, like we said, when he comes off the top rope, just fucking the hang time, the velocity is just fucking phenomenal. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then there's such a fluidity that he moves with that it's very not like it's one of those things where if it was like an Olympic sport, he'd be getting 10s every time. Like he fucking nails it.
And did they do a promo after that with somebody, if I remember correctly?
Oh gosh. You're pushing the bounds of my memory on this one. I know that they did a promo. I think they did a promo before.
All right. I thought it was after. You know what it was? And I remember, did I see Montez Ford doing the vibrator dance? The little vibrator move when he was shaking like that, waiting to get his hands on him? I think I saw that. I can't remember if it was this week or last week. But
you definitely talked about this Friday.
Okay.
So I'd be thinking of Friday because you put it over big time that he did that on Friday's show.
I might have been. It's been a very long day today.
I hear you.
And I dealt with a lot of bullshit. But anyway, so there we go. That's Raw. I don't have an assload of news tonight. We do have one thing that you're definitely going to want to jump on into soon. I promise you. That we are going to jump into. Hope Smark, you know what? Make sure you got that article pulled up.
Yeah, I will go ahead and do that. There's a couple of small... I mean, I don't really feel like there's all that much meat to it. And we might just want to save that for Friday. You might want to save that for Friday. But Jeff Hardy did re-sign a new deal. Not that anybody really anticipated him going anywhere, but there is that. Wade Barrett's now under contract with them for NXT, so
I figured that would happen with Wade Barrett. I was not the biggest Wade Barrett fan. I gotta tell you, everyone thought he was such a great talker. I thought his promos were awful. I didn't like the guy at all. I never really saw anything in him. I never knew why he won that NXT, but he is a good commentator, and I do enjoy his commentary. So I'm glad he got it. Jeff Hardy, we can talk about it. We got time. I mean, we don't have a ton of shit to get into tonight, and we're really only we're not that long. We got time, in other words. Jeff Hardy, I think he. I mean, look, let's face it, Jeff Hardy's probably very loyal to this company at this point, and he should be. They've helped him out in a lot of times of need. They've taken him back. I could definitely. I didn't think he was going anywhere, to be honest with you. I think Jeff feels stability here, and in WWE, and he should. He's got a family, just like Matt does. Matt just took a different route, saw a different path, but Jeff Hardy just got out of his little thing. He just got out of the little, doing a little rehab, doing a little stint there. WWE, I'm sure, took care of him on that, and he probably felt a little loyalty to them for that. I can't fault him for that. He went with the right. I think he did the right thing for his family. I mean, he's with the company isn't going to fucking maybe belly up in whenever I think he did the right thing as far as I'm concerned. Guaranteed money is always the right thing when you got a family. I'm sorry, I'm never going to fucking go against that.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's a choice to make. I like you said, I wouldn't fault anybody for wanting to pick the stable route either, when you know for a fact that they're going to be around for at least the duration of the contract that they're having you under. Mm-hmm. So, everybody has their own decisions to make, and obviously that's a safe one. You can't really fault them for that. And like you said, there were several opportunities where if they wanted to, they could cut ties with him and nobody would really blame him. Mm-hmm. Not that they care about blame in the first place, but he definitely gave them a lot of reasons for them to potentially turn their back on him, but they just never really did. So, I feel like he's kind of paying it back or paying it forward, however you want to look at it, all the stuff that they did for him.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely. And, like I said, you can't fault the guy for it. I mean, he's had tons of problems, drug issues. He's had arrests, DUIs, car accidents. So many things go wrong, and yeah, this company has kind of taken him back. I mean, he's got that huge blemish of Victory Road, which I'm sorry, I still blame that on TNA, the company. I still blame that on TNA. They let him go to the ring like that. He could have been killed. He could have killed someone. He could have hurt someone. He could have hurt himself. Do they? I just, every time I think about that, it baffles me how they could have looked at him and went, "Oh yeah, he's good to go to the ring."
Yeah, that whole thing was like, I mean, you can laugh about it now,
right?
Because now everybody, like, it's like the whole Matt Sydal thing. Everybody's okay, so you can kind of laugh at it now. But like, very much, if you think about it, if you try to put yourself in the perspective of it as it happened, and a lot of people did see it as it happened or did see it that night, it's very scary. Because, like, I mean, we talk about it all the time. Even when you're working in your right mind, you're being sober. Like, one mistake can cause a very permanent impact on your career, the career of somebody else. Mm-hmm. Like, not even career, but just life. Like, people end up paralyzed, people end up dead, and who knows what could have happened. So yeah, it's very scary, very reckless, very irresponsible that they let him even come out there. But then even then, they didn't call an audible and like figure out a way to get him out of the match or something. Like, obviously the match was very short, but it's just the idea that they let it go on in general was just bad. I would have done, I don't care what, I would have done anything but to put him out there in that match. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't have. And I mean, yeah, we do laugh about it now, but I mean, if you watch that back, what was that, 2007? Victory Road 2007? Something like that, yeah, it was definitely around that point. Yeah, I mean, if you do a quick search, but yeah, you watch that back now, and I mean, you see how fucked up he was. He's pretending to throw his shirt in the audience, and no one gives a fuck because they see what he's and I mean, he so many things could have gone wrong. That company could have been sued for fucking bajillions. Imagine if Sting got hurt. Imagine. And remember, 2011. Thank you, Sasha. Sasha Baron Corbin.
SBC, as we call them. Imagine what would have happened. Now, remember, Jeff tried to kick out, and Sting, as the I will definitely give IOAH coining this phrase, the Sting pin in your head. Check out those guys Tuesday nights. Find them. You just join their group on Facebook. In Your Head Facebook group. Join that because they do the Zoom thing. But Matt, what was he going to do after he kicked out? Tell me what he was going to do.
Right. Yeah, and that's another kind of angle is like just be glad that Sting was his opponent for any number of reasons. The fact that, like you just said, he basically forced the match to end.
Yep.
And also, like if it was somebody else that was maybe a little bit less professional, a little bit more vindictive, had a little bit more of a temper to him, like I wouldn't be surprised if they just beat the ever-loving shit out of him for that.
Dude.
Like during the match. So I mean, just the idea of it being Sting, and Sting obviously, like he even kind of broke character and was kind of un-Sting-like because he's always very professional, no matter what kind of bullshit they throw at him, TNA, WCW, WWE, whatever. But you know, the match was over and he was kind of walking to the back, and there was a lot of bullshit chants, and you can hear it, you can see the video footage of it, that you just hear Sting going, I agree, while he's walking to the back. He's just like, you know what, I'm not going to even try to defend this. This was fucked up.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he was saying it was bullshit that's where the match ended, or if he was saying that's bullshit they let him out there. I honestly think he was saying it was bullshit they let Jeff even go out there. Definitely, and you know what? If I don't know if he's done, he's probably done interviews on this, and I've seen it and probably don't remember it, but that just ridiculous, man. I mean, that's like, dude, you don't let a guy drinking, drugged up, whatever. You wouldn't let him run heavy machinery. You wouldn't let him drive a car. You wouldn't let him do so many things, but you'll let him get in the ring and have another guy's life in his hands? What? Because that he did. I mean, listen, like I said, say he had kicked out. What the fuck was he going to do? How long was he going to let that? Was he really going to try to do that match? I'm glad fucking Sting pinned him like that. I'm happy because Sting probably saved his own fucking ass from getting hurt or hurting Jeff. I mean, dude, go back to think about if he had been in there with like you said, like a Perry Saturn who beat the shit out of that. What was that? Mark Bell? Was that his name that he beat the shit out of that match with Terry down there when she was screaming, "Oh, stop, stop, stop!" and he was beating the shit out of that guy. I think it was Mark Bell. You ever seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that quite a few times. He goes off on him.
Dude, imagine if he was in the ring with like a Steiner, or even even a fucking like a Regal.
Yeah.
Regal would have fucking, oh my God, Regal would have fucking let him go just to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, I mean, and like, it's hard to tell who liked him, backstage and who didn't, because there wasn't the only incident, but, and like, the one that was coming to my mind was Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
I'm just like, Joe's a professional, but I could see Joe getting, just in the moment getting pissed off and just kind of, peppering him with a shot or two.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think Jeff was lucky he was in there with a good guy like Sting, who, I mean, let's face it, I don't think anyone's ever said a bad word about Sting that I can remember. No, I don't think so. It's Surfer Sting, never heard a bad word about the guy.
That's kind of the ironic, and like, okay, yeah, I get it, it's a character, but juxtaposition of like everybody like kind of likes Sting and everybody always praises Sting for his professionalism, but his whole character, like kayfabe wise, is built on the fact that everyone that he ever befriends turns on him. So like everybody hates Sting, as in kayfabe, but then out of kayfabe everybody loves him
because he was such a good guy. They hated him.
That's probably
That's it. What do you think of that, Smart? Right back in your face, like Raw tonight was in your face. Raw.
That's right.
In your
Yeah, I'll
face.
give you credit. You volleyballed that shit right back at me.
Goddamn right. Goddamn
like
right. Fucking set and spike, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. All right. I think we kind of got off track there a little bit. Imagine that.
Yeah,
Just a tad. Real quick, I'm going to throw one little nugget of news out there. Sasha Banks looks like she's going to be in the Mandalorian season 2.
And I have to give them credit because I won't steal the joke. But I was listening to The Observer, and they were like, the first thing that came out was like, oh, well, is this Sasha Banks or is this Mercedes that's doing this? You can't have people under their character doing things now, so who is it?
True. But if WWE is getting a little cha-ching out of it, Sasha Banks will be who it is under.
Oh, they're definitely going to promote the shit out of this.
Yes. You got to see, that's going to be a little thing right there. If WWE isn't getting their piece of that pie, it's going to have to be under their real name. If WWE is getting their cut, oh, you can use whatever name you want. Mainly, you'd rather use our name. Dude, they even said it in their statement. If basically that statement said, if WWE can profit off of it, then we will let you use your name in WWE. If we cannot, you will use your real name. So I get the joke. It's funny. But you know WWE is going to fucking glom onto this. And you know what? I don't blame him, man. Look, Sasha Banks probably, I don't know if she's just got a small part, a big part, but she looks like Sasha is a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
She now has the powers of the she's got it. She's got the Force. She has the Force. I didn't expect to spend a lot of time on that, but did want to mention it because it was out there. It was out there a lot today, actually. Actually, it was like every third post on my Facebook page today was this little thing of that, and every fifth post was a few days ago. The Rock's daughter, Simone Johnson, 19 years old, undergoing her third knee surgery. You may want to listen. I know you're the Rock's daughter, but you might want to look at a new career. Third knee surgery. You haven't even broke your teens yet. Just might want to think about what you're doing is all I'm saying. For your own health.
Yeah, I mean, that's not promising. Which is a shame because, I mean, I don't think anybody has really, but we haven't really gotten a chance to see what she could do. And I mean, that's a hell of a bloodline, and there's a long lineage there. So it seems like there's been a lot of success. It'd be very interesting to see, her develop and potentially become really good. But I mean, if you're already, like you said, if you're already on knee surgery number 3, it might not be such a bad idea to pack it up.
Yeah, I mean, you got guys out there like Ray that have had 8 knee surgeries, and that's great, but 3 before you've broken your teens, I think really, you might want to, listen, give it a break, go a few years, do something else. Give that shit a break, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but yeah, Simone Johnson, the Rock's daughter, is going for yet another knee surgery. She had basically said her kneecap was having a little problem with her kneecap popping out of place, and knee surgery. And trust me, the knees hurt. I have 2, but both my knees are fucking shot, dude. Shot as hell. Both my knees can slide out of joint at any time, and when my knees pop, it literally feels like 2 things crushing together. I've got bad cartilage on both sides, but surgery, I mean, it's not my bag, man. Yeah. Ain't doing no surgery, man. I don't like surgeries. But this will be, third surgery. Ugh. Good luck to her. Hope she comes out of it well. And Hope she gives it a big thought. I think her dad might jump on in there with a little bit of advice, and I hope he does. I hope he does for her.
His advice is being like, hey, look, do you have any idea how much I make on these movies? Just do fucking anything else. Who cares? Like, if you need money, I'll fucking, I got your back. But just do whatever.
Or don't. Do nothing.
Yeah.
I'll take care of you. Listen, I'm the Fast and Furious guy now. Fuck Vin Diesel. Okay.
Exactly. It's my franchise now. I found a fucking $1 million in the couch the other day. You need something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Did you know there was $1 million check in the couch? Okay.
If you want, I'll let you call some XFL games.
Suddenly he's Chevy Chase from Caddyshack. This is a $75,000 check. Yeah, keep it. Oh,
this isn't important at all. We had an argument, I think it was Friday, about Weird Al being in The Naked Gun.
yes.
Turns out he was in all three, because there's like a YouTube montage of all three of his cameos in all three of the movies. So we were technically both right.
Okay, so he was in all three. I knew he was in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know. I need to figure out where he is in the second one. And the third one, only reason to watch the third one is for Anna Nicole Smith. Rest in peace. But that's a reason to watch the third one, because she is just, wow, gorgeous in that movie. But what else we got here? I have something. You got something?
I mean, it's not too much to talk about because I haven't gotten the chance to see the full show. I just watched a little bit of Jay Lethal versus Dalton Castle. But Ring of Honor is back now. They're doing TV shows weekly. They're doing the Pure Wrestling title tournament. Hard for me to say. But anyways, I just wanted to say, because it's so easy to shit on them, and I have fun doing it. But they have completely revamped their production. And it really does look fucking amazing. Like, it looks very sleek. It looks kind of on par, and this sounds like kind of hyperbole, but it's kind of on par with what WWE is doing at the moment. So, like,
really?
it looks really, really nice. So, if you guys get a chance, check that out. The Lethal versus Castle match was pretty good, too. So, it's a lot of fun. But I just wanted to put that out there. Like I said, probably not too much to talk about because, like I said, I haven't seen the whole show, but I did want to see what their production was about because there was a lot of people raving that they really upped the ante on their production, which has been notoriously shitty in the past. But yeah, they're doing it up. It looks nice.
They got lights and brighter because it was always so dark.
Oh yeah, they got a shit ton of lights. They got like a big old, like kind of Titantron video board.
Really?
Not unlike how WWE has. So
cool.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Good for them, man. Maybe, I think a lot of these companies without traveling and doing all the shit just saved some fucking money and decided to spend it on upgrades, which, shit, man. How can you fucking fault the company for that?
Yeah, I will say that's kind of been the benefit. We don't really want to talk about it too much, but
right,
like there's been a lot of like kind of businesses, restaurants or whatever closing down because of everything that's been going on. But unfortunately, very fortunately, wrestling as a whole has managed to kind of strive, or at least there hasn't been major hits. Like everybody's kind of managed to find a way miraculously to kind of keep the lights on and keep people employed. That's always great.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, man. I mean, and we're seeing a lot of good things come out of it. Like I said, you just said ROH jumped up that, and WWE has done some stepping up. Shows have been decent lately, man. So can't complain. Speaking of complaining about shows, Smark, Vince Russo,
yeah, boy,
commented on All Elite Wrestling. He's been kind of bitching about it the whole time. Basically, Vince Russo is saying that he doesn't want to watch it anymore. Let me get into this little article here. Basically saying the show has sucked for the whole year. It's been on TNT. Bro, obviously I'm quoting Vince Russo here. Bro, I may have done my last AEW review show, Vince Russo began. It's not that the show sucks. We're almost going on a year, and the show has sucked for a year. Okay. It's not that this show sucks. Sorry. We're almost going on a year, and the show has sucked for a year. So either a lot of sucking going on here. Not sure. Basically, I'm just going to wrap up what he said. He's basically saying he doesn't want to watch it because he thinks someone is going to end up crippled, maimed, dead, or in a wheelchair. So he thinks someone may end up like maybe Draws, maybe Kamala before he passed away. Maybe someone might end up hurt. Like many other wrestlers already have been, bro. Under your watch, too, bro. Owen Hart, bro.
I was going to say, this is all coming from the guy who pitched the idea that they should punch each other in the head for real.
Yeah, bro. So, this is kind of this is one of those the pot calling the kettle black things. Vince Russo has been a part of, he knows this is wrestling. Yeah, they do some risky shit. Of course they do. A lot of wrestlers do. Deathmatch guys do more risky shit than they do. And, I don't hear you bitching about that. Maybe it's because Cornette does it. You don't want to be that guy either. But, dude, Russo, you're literally talking about yourself. You've seen guys get hurt. You were there. You made people get hurt. You put people through tables. You had people hit with chairs. Jesus Christ, Russo. Now suddenly he's Mr. fucking virtuous. Oh, Jesus. I don't know, man. I don't know. Listen.
Yeah, it just seems like he doesn't like it, and he can't come up with a reason why. Like, he doesn't want to do Cornette shtick. So he's like, I'm trying to find a reason why he hates it, but just can't quite do it. So he's pulling I'm worried for their safety. But no, you're not. You don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the only one that I've said before, I do worry about Darby Allin, but he's an adrenaline junkie, and you can't stop him. He did elaborate on his podcast a little bit. He said, I've sat through a sucky piece of crap show for a year. I don't agree with that one bit. I don't know how I can sit here and watch a show where I know, question mark, somebody is going to either be crippled, question mark, why question marks, maimed, question mark, wind up in a wheelchair or dead. Not even a comma. Wheelchair, comma, or dead is how that should be, Vince Russo. Your punctuation is way off. He then reverts to some of the high-risk elements. He wouldn't mention the Matt Hardy thing. He wouldn't mention anything, exact, but definitely said he is worried about some of the guys. I'm worried about some of the guys, too. Mostly Darby Allin is the one that I'm worried about. Because, like I said, he's an adrenaline junkie. He's willing to do anything. He's willing to take anything. And he doesn't seem to have a boundary. And like I said, I think we're going to either, if he doesn't smarten up, we're going to have a very short time of enjoying Darby Allin, or he is going to end up in a wheelchair. That I do agree with Russo on. But that's the only guy that I'm worried about. Otherwise,
yeah,
these guys are doing what they do, man. Leave them alone. Leave them alone.
Yeah, I mean, you can't sit there and be a fan of like any other sports. And I don't know if he's a big football fan, but I do know that he likes baseball. Mm-hmm. And you can't be a fan of any sport if you're like not willing to watch something because you're scared somebody's going to get hurt. Mm-hmm. Like, fucking baseball, I've watched plenty of times where somebody gets drilled in the head by a ball or even just like catches the wrong end of a bat unintentionally. and just, or just any number of injuries can happen with the arms or whatever, but there's all kinds of risk for injury in just any sport, no matter what the sport is. Anytime you're doing anything of an athletic nature, there's that risk. But the whole idea of just not watching AEW because you're worried about injuries, it's not working for me. It's not doing it. And like the whole thing about it, like it sucked the entire year. Like, how so? You can't possibly, like, compared to what? What is it that you're watching that you're like, oh, this is fucking great? Like that. There's just so many, and I'm sure that he probably elaborates more. He's probably talked about it more on his show, but I'm not trying to hear his show. But yeah, I don't know. I don't get it either. I'm with you.
Well, you got to realize if Vince Russo, if they were paying him, he would put it over like a motherfucker. So that might be why, in a little bit of it. I don't know. I mean, like I said, this Russo has been a part of so much shit. The Attitude Era, people were getting fucking hit with chairs, unprotected chair shots, and all kinds of shit. Draws. Fucking, like we said, Owen. So many things that Vince Russo has been in. And he's worried about the AEW guys? Come on, man. Get off your fucking high horse, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, that's Vince Russo. A lot of people were jumping on Jack Evans this week for kind of how AEW's treating him and Angelico. Saying that they've been having short matches, this and that. I mean, I've shit on Angelico a little bit, but Jack Evans put out there a few good points. You want me to read this whole thing? He did put out a nice little statement on the matter. I'm going to read it, the whole thing. I can do the whole thing.
Well, go for it.
All right. I keep seeing stuff like this, and honestly, we haven't. There is 2 hours to fill, and they don't want us to have 2-3 minute matches just to stick more people on TV. So there is going to be some downtime as new people are rotated into angles. Good point. I agree with that. Part 2, he put out. On top of this, there are little things the fans aren't privy to. For instance, my ring cardio was at such a low point, I have improved it 200% now, that in my match with Kenny, we had to cut a good 5 minutes out because I was done, while other little things continued. I don't know if he's smoking too much weed or what, but it sounds like he's saying he was blown up after a few minutes. Part 3, for instance, to the annoyance of Angelico, AAA, obviously talking about Angelico there, I have been pulling skits, SCHITZ. Skits? Styles?
Huh.
I'm going to go with skits. I've been pulling skit styles on everything from in-ring character, gear, all the way to if we need to do more or less cool moves as a heel team. Finally, on top of it all. And someone needs to formulate a way to teach this in wrestling schools. We straight suck at pitching angles. What? You're admitting that? Why would you do that? This is an email to the bookers. So, like, give me a mic and I talk some shit and then we, like, fight and stuff.
Was that also said by Vince Russo?
Which, when you have a booking crew that is already overloaded, they don't want something a bit more they want something a bit more concrete than that. So there is much more that goes into who gets a push and who doesn't than people think. And when you have limited TV time and everybody wants it, you have to be sure that whoever you are giving TV time push to, that they are ready to go on all cylinders. And up until recently, we haven't been, or at least me. And Angelico has been pulling his hair out waiting. So basically, Jack Evans is saying he's had a few issues, he's had a few problems. They're not very good at pitching storylines, which means they're not very creative, which I get. once again, I think there's just two guys that can go out there, put on a good flippity doopy dippy do yabba dabba do match, but don't really have any ideas. So he's kind of admitting he's not a very creative guy, which might not be the best thing to do.
Yeah, I get it. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if he's really been complaining. It doesn't seem like it.
Mm-hmm.
It just dawned on me that I actually don't follow him on Twitter anymore. I used to follow him on Twitter, but then my account got like deleted or whatever. So I hadn't seen anything from him in a minute. But I mean, I get the idea of like if you don't feel like you're being utilized, then come up with something that you can do. But if you're totally fine with just being under contract and just performing in whatever it is that they give you, like, yeah, I mean, not everybody is a great creative type. I mean, I feel like you should at least have a kind of an idea of who your character is and the direction that you would like them to go down, and even just basic shit like, I would like to feud with this guy. Mm-hmm. But I mean, some people do just like being able to show up and just be like, all right, I'm in this match. All right, the finish is this. Okay, cool. But I don't know. Yeah, that was interesting. Like, I don't know if he is a pothead, but the way that you read that certainly makes it seem that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like, I just let us wrestle and stuff and do cool stuff, bro.
I don't know. I might have read it better if he was. It would fit me better. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you, man. If he's happy where he is in his spot and realizes that maybe they weren't ready and maybe they need a few more things before they get going, then I got no issues with it. And I think he's actually smart in doing that. You know, if you're not ready on all cylinders, then, like he said, yeah, not a good idea to put you out there very much. But hopefully they are. Listen, I'm not a big Jack Evans fan, but you know, I thought he was very out of place in Lucha Underground. But he is talented, and he can go out there and have a good match. So hey. Angelico, I think he's a little bit of an odd worker, but that's just me, personal opinion. Speaking of AEW, mm-hmm. Dave Meltzer put out a post on what he believes the AEW All Out pay-per-view, the buys did, pay-per-view only, was 100,000 to 110,000. I don't think that includes Fightful or Fight TV, I'm sorry, and all the other places you could get it. But I think that is just standard pay-per-view on television, which that's not bad in my opinion. It's kind of right up there with Revolution last year. So anywhere from 100 to 110,000. Not bad, just on pay-per-view again.
No, I mean, I guess not. Like, it just, you kind of look at the ballpark numbers of like, we were talking about the last week's episode of Dynamite got 1 million views. Mm-hmm. And like, you know that not everybody that watches it's going to get the pay-per-view. Like, you know, there's the casual fans, there's the people that don't want to pay, there's the people that are, you know, finding it elsewhere. So the idea that, you know, that many people are going to pay for fucking $50-$60 for the pay-per-view, it's not bad. Especially at, you know, a time like this where, you know, everybody has different kind of finances and not everything is as financially secure as it has been in the past. So, I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. And again, that doesn't count all the platforms they were on. So right. that's simply one platform. I'm sure in a few weeks we'll find out some other platforms they were on and get better numbers. But for now, that'll do. Spark, you got any more little nuggets, or are we ready to get into what we love talking about on this show so much?
I think that pretty much does it. The Raw rating came out. It's pretty much on par with what it's been in the past couple of weeks. So them going up against 2 NFL games actually really didn't hurt them, which is kind of surprising. But yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much covers everything that we needed to cover.
Oh, shit.
As I bring it up again, because I had kind of closed the tab, but it is now ready. So fire away as we will.
Mm-hmm. Well, I brought up the article you had posted in the chat room. We love old Teddy Hart, old Edward Teddy Hart Annis. I did not know his last name was Annis. It kind of reminds me of anus.
It may actually be pronounced that way. I can never tell if, because people have said it is, but I can never tell if they're just fucking making it as a joke or not. But it's definitely very close.
Yeah, there you go. Was sentenced to 10 days imprisonment. Teddy Hart is back in jail again, this time in Virginia, I believe, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
And the Richmond County Jail, so yeah, Virginia.
Yep, Richmond. I've been there. Been to Richmond. Used to do, when my sister rode horses, used to do horse shows in Richmond. Very nice. Very nice. I got sick as a dog in Richmond one year. Oh my God, I had the flu. Couldn't even do the show. Couldn't even do the horse show. Yeah, my God, the things you remember. I was like 11 years old. Yes, been charged with possession of a Schedule 3 narcotic and possession with intent to sell or distribute. What can we guess that is? Want to speculate?
Well, it says to go. Let's see. I'm trying to bring it up here
again. This is
part of it. They classify it as a couple of different things.
They do. This is another one that's going to be a toss-up. We're going to have to take. This is going to be an A, B, C, D. It's going to be multiple choice. Schedule 3 in Virginia, Smark, include. You ready? Mm-hmm. A, anabolic steroids. B, ketamine. C, codeine. Or D, hydrocodone. I would like to put my wager on A, anabolic steroids. Mm-hmm.
Well, it says in the article that he did end up, I don't know if it's the same incident, but he did end up getting busted for buying weed and for buying steroids. So steroids does seem like the safe bet. He also kind of does strike me as a type of person that would sell hydrocodone.
Could be.
Based on the kind of people that around here sell those. He definitely seems like he's the kind of... It would not surprise me if he was a fucking pill dealer around here.
Definitely would not. There's a video of this?
See, this is news to me. I mean, I'm looking at the same article you are because it's where I found it.
Well, if you look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth paragraph, it says, in the video.
Yes, I am seeing this now.
Oh, okay. Now Maria, in a previous video, had referred to steroids being in his car. So I didn't read that part yet. So, yes, I'm going with, definitely. Probably had steroids in his car. He was found guilty of possession of the Schedule 3. Also fined $21 in fines and court costs for not carrying or exhibiting his driver's license or registration. Fined $61 for failure to use lights with wipers. What the fuck? Do you know what a dick he had to be to get charged with some of this shit? Do you understand what a complete fucking asshole he must have been to get charged with some of this stuff? $61 for failure to use lights with wipers. Charges of being in possession of marijuana and for improperly mounted license plates. License plates. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. They were dropped. I'm sorry. Those charges were dropped.
Which I do feel like that fits your narrative of how much of a dick was he being if the guy was just like, you know what, I'm going to try to get you for as much shit as humanly possible.
Yep. See, I should have kept reading. I should have read the article more. The charges were dropped, though. Those minor charges were dropped. They do that, though, when they have you on a higher charge. They're like, you know what, we got him on. Why bother the court with this when we've got him on this? Because they basically had him on from they're going to have him soon. He has another hearing in October facing charges of a felony arrest without a warrant. So he had an arrest there again. Oh, my God, man. This guy is just a garbage human being. I mean, listen, great for the show. Love the material. But, and by the way, the fact that he was staying at the apartment of a guy named Pork Chop Johnson just absolutely is like fucking icing on the fucking cake, dude.
Well, yeah, because he violated house arrest, Virginia, and you said you got kicked out by a guy named Pork Chop Johnson. Like, imagine, not only is he staying with a guy named Pork Chop Johnson, which, I mean, that alone sounds like the name of like a documentary or a movie or just a mixtape that I would buy. Teddy Hart and Pork Chop Johnson singing the blues. But imagine what you had to have done to get kicked out of a man's house whose name is Pork Chop Johnson.
Oh, I can hear him talking to the cops. I didn't mean to do it. I didn't mean to. I got kicked out of the house. The guy's name was Pork Chop. You can call him now. I can tell him now. Oh, yeah, come on.
There's a misunderstanding. And, I'm the best. I do what I do because I put smiles on people's faces.
Don't ask why I have these gold chains on. Don't ask. I don't know why I have Zubaz on. Leave me alone. Leave me alone, Come on, man. I'm sorry.
Pretty much, yes. So, yeah, I mean, this is like that's the amazing thing is that he got in trouble essentially for violating house arrest was the first thing, and then he got in trouble again for the possession of the narcotics and I guess weed too. Just like his whole fucking, he's not getting bookings on the indies anymore, so now he just has to fill up his time schedule with multiple court appearances.
Well, I mean, you got court appearances, and I guess he's selling drugs on the side. I mean, listen, it seems like every time this guy gets a break, he or a shot or a chance, he blows it up. He's a self-destructive person. And I mean, people have tried to help him. People have tried to help him and Maria. People have tried to help them both. And they don't accept it. They just sort of leave it alone. And eventually, I don't know, man. I guess you just gotta let people hit bottom every now and then. I don't even know what else to say, man.
Well, further in this article, and I posted it in the Mixler chat if anyone likes to read it. It is a fucking book, just based on everything that he's done. Like, you really have to kind of draw out like a chalkboard type situation of like, okay, it was this that led to this, that led to that, that led to that. Because it's like they list so many things that he's done wrong. Where it's like we like to laugh about that whole Mike Quackenbush video where he essentially apologized for everything that he did, some of which were just minor like transgressions. Like Teddy Hart has a fucking laundry list of like he could fill out a bingo card with all of the shit that he's done. But anyways, like one of these, it says here in the article, court records also indicate that Hart had been declared a fugitive from justice on May 4th. Record list him as an arrested on that charge. Okay, the person that typed this it's their grammar problem. Records list him as arrested on that charge on September 11th, one day after he had been processed into Richmond City Jail. Hart is scheduled for another hearing on 10/13, facing charges of a felony arrest without a warrant. And it said also this year, we talked about this as it happened, but been arrested on March 26th following a domestic incident with Manic, who later stated the situation had been blown out of proportion. We talked about that, played that whole thing. She ended up not pressing charges, and there's no court record of it, so it had apparently actually been dropped as we thought it would be.
Yeah, we kind of called that. We knew as soon as the whole thing happened that she was going to do that. But
because that was that whole thing of, oh, we were just playing around, and he got me in a chokehold, and I passed out, and then he put me in a chokehold again.
Yeah,
you know how that goes, because we're both wrestlers, and wrestlers just beat the shit out of each other in their spare time. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, it's just some cute thing we do. Is he chokes me out, and I kiss his cheek when I wake up, and he chokes me out again, and then I blow him. It's just the way it is. It's kind of fun for us. He chokes me out while I'm blowing him.
Which, I mean, were that to be the case, hey, we all enjoy different things, but
oh, to each their own, sir.
Clearly, like, it's just like it. And I think they did mention here in the article that they were dating, so hopefully that does mean that this is a past tense scenario, and she managed to get the fuck out of there. So I think fingers crossed on that. But it's just like, that whole thing is very depressing. We talked about it.
Well, we can always just pull up the YouTube and see if that still exists, that show. What was that? Teddy and Maria's. I think weren't we subscribed to that?
Teddy and Maria's Bogus Journey?
Yeah. Oh, I think they did cancel that channel. Let's see here. Teddy Hart. I would figure that would come up in the thing here. I don't see that channel anymore.
I found her YouTube.
Yeah, I've got hers here. But I was never subscribed to just hers. I think she switched it to hers and deleted everything.
I mean, some of these like video titles are kind of problematic. Revenge is never a straight line. My Life is Chaos, or Life is Chaos. Yeah, but so I guess this is my thoughts on Illuminati, mind control, aliens, and simulation theory. It's 27 minutes long.
This is the old. This is it, because she was doing these videos on that old channel. This is the old channel. She switched it to her name. Is what she did. That's what she did. She switched this to her name and deleted all the
videos. Do appear to be just her in these videos, so hopefully everything is well.
Yeah, I guess. So there we go. That switched to Maria Maddox's YouTube now. Cool. All right. Shit. I got nothing else, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's just disappointing. Like, I don't feel bad for him because of the whole theory that he might have been responsible for somebody being murdered or being human trafficked. So that's kind of the end of my kind of sympathy for him. But it is just sad because at one point, and we were talking about, it's kind of funny that we actually led into this by talking about Jack Evans. But him and Jack Evans, they were working AAA in Mexico, and some of those matches, like things that they did in those matches, I still haven't seen replicated. Like, there's this, if you're into high-flying wrestling, the flippy doos, as I am, and as I do say that I am, like, they did some real wild shit where it's like you were watching people, like you were watching a real-life video game almost. And it's just, he had, like, all the talent in the world. And especially nowadays, the way that things are, like, if he would have been able to keep even just a semi-clean nose, there definitely would have been a spot for him in, like, an NXT or even an AEW, but just time and time again, he shot himself in the foot. And it's a shame because, like I said, he had all the talent of the world, but unfortunately, he thought that he had even more talent than that. He had definitely had an ego, had a lot of very self-destructive tendencies, and it's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds like it, man. But, yeah. No sympathy for Teddy, really. I agree with you. At all. But wish he would try to get his life together, man, because he's definitely talented and could have a good career if he I mean, he's had a decent career, but it could definitely get better if he would get better. Yeah, that makes sense. And there you go. I think we're good. Almost 2.5 hours here, a little less, but yeah, we can go ahead and wrap this up. Obviously, you guys have noticed there's going to be some changes to this show. I will have Anthony on Friday. He will talk to us a little bit. Come on and we'll see what he has to say. And there you go. So you will hear from Anthony on Friday. But yeah, there will be a few changes here and there. But we'll get more into that on Friday. And that is it. Let's go ahead and knock these plugs out while this is going. You guys definitely want to check out the High Marks. That is Cheeseman. That is Mojo. That is G-Wiz. You guys can check them out on the Metal Mitt. That is 2T's Network. Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network. You can check them out on Sunday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, Bobby Anthem and Bobby Blades on the Inhuman Experience. Check them out on Apple Podcasts and all the other usual podcast platforms. And the Unscripted Wrestling Podcast. Definitely want to check out those guys right there. Check them out on Blog Talk Radio Sunday nights. And you definitely want to check them out on all the other usual podcast platforms. And, of course, Stephen Milan, 2 L's in that last name. You want to double them up. Letterboxd, boxt.com/Stephen Milan over there reviewing films. Definitely want to look at that. And speaking of review, give us a review. Subscribe. Rate. Follow us on Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google, TuneIn, Player FM. Go for it, Smark.
Yeah, just real quick, I will say one more thing is this. Thanks, everybody, as always, for hanging out in the chat room, for listening live, for listening to the archives. Like I said, I kind of came in on, it's been almost a year since I joined you guys. So for all the people who continue to listen after I joined, it is much appreciated. I really do, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate it. Love you guys. Thank you so much. It's been really fun. But yes, as always, stay tuned after the show for an all-new episode of Son of the Beach. But also be sure to check out our friends at Planet Raconteur, the Planet Raconteur podcast with Bobby Anthem, with Papa Dave Sincere, with Yuck Nasty. It is an auditory extravaganza. All 11 episodes, story excerpts, anything you could possibly need or want on all of your favorite podcast catchers. Check them out. I highly recommend it.
All right, there you go. So Friday night, me, Anthony will be here. We'll probably have Smark on a little later. We will figure out what's going on then. Until then, definitely enjoy. And, of course, see you!
Peace.
Party's over, band last song. Can't stay here, you got to go home, go home. Go home! It's time to take your truck and ass.